Hey, what's up, y'all? The 48 Laws of Game, Chapter 11, McGillas and Gorillas. Hey, man, dig this here, man, Oh, yeah, if you ain't got this book, Pimpology, the 48 Laws of Game, you need this to really understand where I'm coming from. In the chapter right here, avoid McGillas and Gorillas, back up off them like the OJs and spin up off them like the Barcades. I got an example of this sucker named G Money, right? I knocked him years ago and, dude couldn't accept his serving. When I called him and told him to say, man, you could break the plate on that bitch, you know what I'm saying? The bitch ain't on no milk cart, she ain't missing, she was pimping, you know what I'm saying? Dude was like, really unpimp-like and said a bunch of foul things, cussed me out and some more shit, you know what I'm saying? But, that's the scenario today with a lot of these so-called young P's, who don't understand the game. They got the ABCs, but not the XYZs. They get out there and they think they really got the game. And, they beating up on women and, shooting all on the track and, robbing and all other kind of unnecessary gorilla shit, that they do. That's the job of, people who really play it for real. You got to avoid them. Because if you don't avoid them, you can really end up dead. The game is a finesse game. I once said, gave an example when I was talking on the internet, and I was talking about, how dudes who have game, but they really don't have game, they peep game. And that's a lot of these McGilla gorillas. What they do is they peep the game. And once they peep the game, and another cat, they mimic what they peep. They're like parrots. They repeat everything that they see. And because of that, what happens is, to the naked eye of the person that's uninformed, they think that these guys are like the rest of these guys. And women think they like them, so sometimes they end up getting chose up. Because women think that they like this guy who might be a live cat, who might really be about his business. And what happens is, these guys end up abusing these women. They end up, acting crazy and shooting other guys in the game, robbing dudes, snatching guys, girls up and forcing them to be with them and so on and so forth. And as a result of that, it causes a lot of problems, because if you take something from me, I'm more than likely going to respond. And if I respond unlike I'm supposed to respond, which is a non-contact sport, with finesse, then that knocks me out of my game and play me out of my ism. You know what I'm saying? So, you don't want to be around these type of people. That's why you got to avoid McGillas and gorillas. Most of these guys hate their mother. Most of them come up in a single parent environment, raised by a woman, and they despise the fact that they don't have fathers. And so what happens is they take it out on females. Now, I know a lot of my partners been raised by women. They're not like that. But these guys here, they despise it and they resent the fact that they were raised up in the sense that they were raised up. Some of their mamas, be on drugs, and so on and so forth, which, I know a lot of us, have that experience, somebody in our family on drugs. But, this kind of affect these guys mentally, and they mess up their psyche. So they become very violent. They become very disrespectful, but they want to get in the game because they know the game have a lot of, what I would call benefits, French benefits, you know what I'm saying? So these guys, they end up in the game. So, I always believe, and I expressed it in chapter 11, that we got to avoid these guys, because, like I said, when I hit G Money up for his girl, he wasn't willing to accept it. So I had to get with my partners, and we had to knock him to actually get him off the track, because without a hoe or without a bitch, he ain't shit. You know what I mean? And, he gonna end up dispersing anyway. And that was the goal, and that's the strategy that we do when we deal with McGilla gorillas. But then, on the business side, on life side, they are Magillas and gorillas. You know, these is called people who are very miserable. You know, they dysfunctional. They psychologically imbalanced. And I'm going to read from the book. I'm on page 45, reading from this book, Pimpology. And it says, in life, these are, in life, there are always people who can't help but mess things up for everybody. You know the person who always, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff that's crazy and always causing confusion. They always got something negative to say. You know, they don't believe that success is possible. These are the people, you know, who are generally on the square side of life, who are gorillas. You know, they haters. You know, we call them haters. And because they are haters and because they don't have, you know, the right knowledge and the right understanding about life, you know, they want to be in a position where they can make everybody else uncomfortable. Misery love company. One minute they will, the next minute they will not, the next minute they don't know whether they will or they will not. You know, they just like to mess up everything for everybody. And you got to watch out for these people, especially if you work for a company or if you're doing something, you know, that's constructive on the business side. You really want to, you know what I'm saying, avoid these people at all costs. And that's mandatory. And then it goes on to say, they are bullies with no finesse. They don't have no finesse. You know, they're not smooth. They don't know how to conduct themselves. They don't know how to, you know, play the game. All they do is go out there aimlessly with no direction, no plans, no goals, and they just hit whatever, you know, that's in their way. I mean, they actually like a straight bullet. That's what they is. They're a straight bullet. They just like a straight bullet. And you got to watch out for them, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? And it says, who don't follow any rules. I mean, it's just, you know, these suckers, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's rules, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they say, man, you know, you don't touch somebody else's people, man, you know what I'm saying? You don't, you know, disrespect a man in his face, you know, you don't holler at somebody's girl or somebody's people if they're right there. But these guys, they don't have no respect. You know what I'm saying? They're gorillas. So they try to bogart the situation. They try to, you know, break the rules. They try to act like, you know, the rules don't exist. And as a result of that, you know, that can cause a major confrontation, which if you don't avoid them, you know what I'm saying, you're going to end up having to drop your P and pick up your G. And that's something that you really don't want to do. You don't want to pick up that G. You do not want to pick up that G. You want to keep a P, but believe that. And then it says they have no respect for authority or anyone else. I mean, you know, they just out there, man, with guns, with drugs, you know, the police ride, you know, making the block hot, making the strip hot. You know, you got to avoid these kind of people at all costs because, you know, they heading for self-destruction and they would bring you down with them. You don't want to go down with a gorilla or a sucker, you know, and that's real talk, you know what I'm saying? It says they have no principles outside of doing what they feel like at all times. You know, in this game, you know, you got to establish principles. And you got to forever live accordingly. You know, a principle might be like, man, I ain't going to disrespect my partner at no cost. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to smoke no weed. You know, I'm not going to allow my people to smoke weed. You know, these are principles. But these guys don't have no principles. You know, they might do anything. They subject to anything because they Magillas and gorillas. You know what I'm saying? Really, real talk. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I mean, we just have to, you know, really, really avoid them. When you see these people coming, you either have to do like E40 say and become a professional sucker ducker, or you have to get rid of them. You know, like I said, it's all kind of ways of getting rid of them. You know, you get rid of them through knocking their bitches and moving them around. If you work in a corporation or something like that, you know, you as a boss, you definitely got to fire them because they're gonna. One bad apple really can spoil a whole bunch. Believe that. That's a true saying. It says, or you have to get rid of them. Okay, we said that. Big enough gorilla may think that nobody can take him out. Okay, then he can get away with anything. But remember what happened to King Kong. You know, so, you know, this chapter it's basically, you know, just really saying watch out for haters, you know, watch out for miserable people who don't have nothing to lose, who love company. You know, this is a very important rule. This is a very important law in the 48 laws of the game, and you must master this law, because if you don't, you're going to be gobbled up by it. Now we're going to Law 12. This has been Law 11, and make sure you get my new book, The Art of Human Chess, and go over to hiphop.pk.com and join, get all the new videos we have. Thank you.